What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another Wrath of the Lich King Classic video. I don't know if I can use that intro right now, because this is a CATACLYSM Classic video. Not Wrath, but CATACLYSM. Did I just butcher that one? Yeah, CATACLYSM. So, we are making a video based on a classic survey sent out by Blizzard that is heavily centered around Cata. So, we have a Wowhead post right here, and for you guys I will link the Wowhead post in the video description as well. We are making this video live on stream, it's like 3 AM right now, and we're coming off a 14-hour stream, so if I sound tired or something like that, I've been streaming 14 hours, so give me a break. Okay, and also, if you want to check me out on Twitch, I'm doing videos like this one live on Twitch, so go and check me out, the link is down below. Now, let's check out the survey. This is a huge one. This is a huge survey that it gives us a lot of clues about what will happen after Wrath Classic, and it gives us an insight on what Blizzard is thinking about. So, here's the front page, World of Warcraft CATACLYSM Classic Survey, sent out by Blizzard. So Blizzard sent out a survey to World of Warcraft players, asking for their feedback on CATACLYSM Classic. In the survey, topics range from what the user liked or disliked about CATACLYSM, as well as what changes they would like to see. The images in this article were sent to Wowhead by user Lord of Oticus. Thanks for the tip. So back in April of this year, Asmongold interviewed Ian Hazikostas and asked about what might happen after Wrath of the Lich King. In that interview, which is timestamped here, which is once again in the article itself, which is linked in the video description. In that timestamp, Mr. Hazikostas seemed very interested in hearing what players wanted to come after Wrath, even asking if players wanted to start over, try a different versions of Wrath, or continue into CATACLYSM. And Ian continues, for many classic players, CATACLYSM is the beginning of the end, and Ian wants to know which this survey covers. What is it about CATACLYSM that the players don't like? So we're skipping the general questions here. They just talk about where you live, how old you are, what is your gender, and your following devices, so playing on PlayStation, PC and so on, how many hours you play per month, the type of games you play, so sports, sandbox, open world, MMORPGs and stuff like that as well, just general basic questions. But if you scroll far enough down, you happen to jump into World of Warcraft CATACLYSM Classic. The survey now turns to specific about World of Warcraft CATACLYSM Classic. I'll be going over all of these questions right here, and I'll give some of my opinions, but there's a lot of things to go through, so I won't be going too in-depth right now, because that would be like a half-hour video, and I think this one will be quite long either way. Okay, World of Warcraft Classic will be bringing back Wrath of the Lich King Classic in 2022. After Wrath of the Lich King Classic comes out, what would you like to see with the World of Warcraft Classic team do next? So the way I see this, they have a whole sea of options, but I would like to highlight 3 of them. Number 1, re-releasing the entire Classic saga, so number 1, just a whole new Classic release. Number 2, CATACLYSM Classic, obviously. Number 3, you can go like an expansion past Wrath of the Lich King in a whole new direction. So it's like a new version of World of Warcraft based on Classic and Wrath as well. Basically the thing that everyone has been talking about since Classic came out, Classic Plus. So giving us a Classic Plus from Wrath in a completely different storyline would be great. Well, I guess Alternative 4 and just Wrath Stasis mode as well. Okay, the expansion after the OG Wrath of the Lich King was Cataclysm. We would like to get your feedback on the features and systems introduced in Cata, and if you're familiar with WoW and Cata, please think about the expansion as it was when it released, and separate it from the systems and features that you may be familiar with in modern WoW, aka Shadowlands, or the current Classic release, WoW Classic and the Burning Crusade Classic. Number 1, a random raid finder. Raid finder should not be in the game whatsoever. This also came in the last patch of Cata. It was in Dragon Soul it came out, so this should not be there at all if this becomes a thing, in my honest opinion. Okay, let's keep going. How familiar are you with the original 2010 release of WoW Cata? I am extremely familiar. It's when I started actually really getting into the game, playing like 10-12 hours a day, completely going degen mode. That was back in Cata, so I'm extremely familiar. Below are the features that were introduced in Cata. Take a moment to read through the features and their descriptions. Press the button below to continue once you Familiarize yourself with the content. So feature 10 new dungeons, yeah whatever, 2 new playable races, goblins and worgens, a big thumbs up from me, 5 new raids, Blackwing Descent, that one was great, Bastion of Twilight, BoE farming, also great, you had Throne of the Four Winds, I didn't like that one, Firelands, best raid ever, and Dragon Soul, like the second to last boss was... I don't know how to explain that one, it was just boring. Okay, 7 new zones, love those ones. I count wide mounts and pets, that's a big thumbs up for pretty much any collectors out there and a altoholic like me that loves to level several characters. And it also makes it so much easier to swap classes. Like if you're bored of your class, but you've got so many things on your main, it makes it very difficult to change your main, but when you have account wide mounts and pets, it's so much easier. Okay, Archaeology second profession, love that one. Changes to player versus player arenas, for example, removal of the 5v5 arena format. I don't know why, like if people like 5v5, allow 5v5, what? Changes to professions, so for example, removing specializations in leatherworking, blacksmithing and tailoring. I don't know why, it makes it simpler, like more simple, but why? Class design changes, why? Like, Wrath was the peak of class design in my opinion, so why? Collections user interface, an interface used to track cosmetic items, mounts, pets, etc. Yeah, quality of life upgrade, thumbs up. Dungeon Journal. Learn more about dungeons, specifically the boss encounters, really good for casual players. You can now, instead of going to YouTube and searching up a guide, you can just read through what each boss does. Really good, yeah, that one's great. Guild Advancement System, guild leveling, achievements and rewards. Personally, I loved this one, but it has a lot of downsides. Like, we had some rewards giving out gold, and people made guilds, like leveling guilds, just to take advantage of getting free gold. So if you remove gold from the rewards, it could be great, but personally I love the guild advancement. It was something fun. Anything that has levels I love. Level cap increase, big thumbs up. Minor quality of life changes. AoE looting, big thumbs up. AoE looting, give it to us now, like that's so great. Questing and leveling changes, progression and leveling changes as a result of the environmental in-game updates. That was great, that started in Wrath by the way, which is why we're getting those types of layering, or what is called like layering, sharding, the thing where the world changes based on your advancement in certain quest lines. They started doing this in Wrath and they kept doing it in Cata. Raid Finder, absolutely not, throw it right in the garbage, like open the window, throw it right outside, never look at it again. Rated Battleground system, loved that one, absolutely fantastic. Reforging, also great. Talent system changes, no thank you. This was the beginning of the end for talent points in my opinion. Wrath is the best talent point system there ever has been in the game, and they somehow managed to F that up. Tolbarad, great. Outdoor PvP zone with daily quests and stuff like that. It's basically a more modern version of Wintergrasp, and I loved it personally. Transmogrification. People love this one, myself included. It's so good for cosmetics. So yeah, why not? It's a quality of life upgrade. Okay, now let's go over to the next one. There's a bunch of questions here, guys, so just yeah, feel free to just skip to the part of the video that you're interested in, but there's a lot of things to cover, and I'm personally just interested in talking about everything here. So how interested would you be in playing the next Classic expansion based on each of the following features? If you need to be reminded of what this feature is, hover over the feature for the definition. So basically, that one, we're just going to skip that one for now, and we also have one here as well, basically talking about how interested you would be in Cataclysm based on everything we just talked about. So this way, basically, you can see which things, like which of the systems people like, and which ones people don't like. So if you get this survey right here, make sure you answer this one correctly, because this one could be very important to which changes we get for Cataclysm. Okay, comparing features added in Cata Classic. This section of the survey asks the user to rate various features and additions in Cata Classic with one another, likely trying to figure out what the most well-liked and least liked changes from Cataclysm most Classic players would prefer. So here you're just comparing one of them, right? So please select the feature you like the most and which ones you like the least most. So here you just drag them to the most or the least most. And that's the same thing that we just talked about as well. Like, Did you like it the most or the least based on all the systems we just talked about? So professions, archaeology, questing changes, rated battlegrounds, account-wide mounts, all of those things. This is a section that I think is really important that you answer, because it's so important based on the actual changes we could be getting for a potential cataclysm. Now, before we head on over further into the video, I want to say that personally I think it's way too early for Blizzard to post this survey. It is so incredibly early. Wrath is not even out yet. We're like, at best, we're 2 years away from Cataclysm right now. So this is very, very early. I think they should just let the Wrath hype be before they start talking about Cathode. And I think they hope to just send this out in the quiet, but still, I know they like to be ahead of the pack and work in advance, so they're working on the next expansion now when they are releasing the current one, but still, focus more on Wrath right now. Don't put too much energy into the Cataclysm basket. Focus on Wrath, get Wrath perfect, and then start working on Cathode. So scrolling down here, we have a lot of features to like arrange from least to most, so we're gonna scroll all the way down, and here we go. Which of the following features would make you the most interested in playing the next Classic expansion? So once again, it's all of the features that we talked about, so which of these features would you be most excited about? Okay, let's see here. For me, it's number 1, account-wide mountain pets, and number 2, AoE looting. I don't even think AoE looting is here, but that probably counts as a minor changes, but AoE looting is definitely a good thing here. And account-wide mounts and pets. That is because I'm a gold farmer though, and I love farming cosmetics too, and I'm a collection person, farming collectibles, so pets and mounts and anything collectible really. So for me, those two are the best ones. If anyone picks the raid finder, please don't answer the survey. If you want the raid finder, please just don't answer the survey, okay? Let's go. So, you selected transmog. What about, so if you selected something, you have to talk about the feature and what exactly about that feature makes you the most interested in playing the expansion. And it basically just goes on to going more in depth there to talk about which ones you like and why you like them. Questions regarding Cathode Classic changes. This section of the survey asks the user to choose their favorite color. Depending on their answer, they will likely receive a different ending to the survey. Apparently, choosing the color green will lead to a survey about thoughts on a Cathode Classic with absolutely no changes. In these screenshots, the user chooses the color black, asking about a Cathode Classic changes with significant changes. So, for example here, please read the description below carefully, as you will be asked questions on your interest in and opinion on playing in the next World of Warcraft Classic expansion based on the concept that you are being shown. Following the final patch of Wrath of the Lich King Classic, continue into Cataclysm, where the Breaker of Worlds, Deathwing, has burst forth from the heart of the Maelstrom, transforming Azeroth. The game will release as it was in 2010, with some changes that may enhance and update the gameplay experience. So, key features. You can retain some pre-Cataclysm features that were streamlined or simplified. You are also excluding the LFR feature, big thumbs up, increase the level cap to 85, big thumbs up, and the inclusion of 2 new races, Worgens and Goblins. I mean, that one is kind of simple, you just exclude the LFR, which I think they will do anyway, based on this description, and then you just talk about how likely it would be to play. Okay. That's going to be the entire thing for the video. That's basically the entire survey, proposing many different changes for Cathode Classic, and they are asking for opinions on these changes and what people want to see. Personally, once again, I think it's way too early, but they're probably looking at what they can do after Wrath Classic is finished, and they want to have a plan. So let me know in the comments down below what you feel about this. Do you want to see Cathode Classic? And if yes, do you want no changes, or do you want massive changes? Leave a detailed comment down below. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video. Once again, check me out live on Twitch to see me do cringe stuff like this live on stream. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe for more Wrath of the Lich King Classic content, not Cathode Classic content, or both. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Peace out, guys.